black thing go from left to right, and I thought, I'm going to die out here. No one's ever going to know.
I couldn't believe what my eyeballs were showing me. I'll never forget how evil the eyes were. It was horrible. I mean, I've never seen nothing that evil.
It ran towards me at a rate that I can't even explain. Turned and stared at me, and this look of, I just want to kill you. I want to say it was human, but it wasn't.
He was yelling at me to grab a gun, grab a gun. I was like, for what? He said, just grab a gun. And there's footprints all the way to the door of my house. It had went inside my garage, all the way to the door.
911, what are you reporting?
Jesus Christ, you better...
Sir?
See ya!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh.
You're listening to Sasquatch Chronicles. Check us out online at sasquatchchronicles.com. If you've had an encounter, email me. My email address is wes@sasquatchchronicles.com. Welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. How's everyone doing on this Friday night? Got a great show planned. Going to be speaking to Ken and Daryl. Very interesting encounters, very opposite type encounters. Daryl is going to be talking about when he was a child and seeing one of these creatures. And I'm always interested when people see these creatures and they talk about the expression on the creature's face and how the creature's expression changed. And it's just fascinating to see that because, you know, when people see bears or mountain lions or, you know, any of your normal wildlife, they'll never talk about the expression. They might say, well, it was showing its teeth, or, but you never hear of other animals out there having expressions. And with Sasquatch, it's interesting because, as you guys hear on the show, a lot of times people will talk about different expressions that these creatures have. I know on Sunday's show, I'm working on a guest for you guys who had two separate encounters on his property when he was hunting. And one of the encounters, most of you know Mike Woolley, who's been on the show in the past, but very similar to his type of encounter, where a deer was running from one of these creatures, and he was in a tree stand. Then he looks down, and the deer lays down at the foot of his tree stand, panting, and pretty soon he hears one of these creatures that comes running out of the woods after the deer. And what was interesting about his encounters, he does such a great job at explaining the details of the face because he was actually looking at the creature through the scope. So look for that on Sunday. Again, if you've had any sort of encounter, please shoot me an email, wes@sasquatchchronicles.com. I would love to talk to you about your encounter. And if you're looking for Sasquatch Chronicle gear, for the members up at the top, if you click on shop, you can go in there. There's a lot of cool items, and I know some new items were just ordered. So if you get a chance, check it out. Well, enough chit-chat for tonight. Let's jump into it. I want to welcome Daryl to the show. Daryl, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is great.
No, I appreciate it. And you had an interesting encounter when you were younger in Ohio. If you would kind of start from the beginning. Tell us about the property and then kind of walk us into what you saw.
Oh, sure. Well, I grew up in northeastern Ohio. My parents lived down about a little over a mile down this one, not so much a country road, but not a very well-traveled road. They were like the fifth house on the left-hand side. So there wasn't a lot of people there, but there was a lot of woods and trees. And it was just very secluded. Really enjoyed it. Beautiful views out the backyard, so much that when my parents remodeled the house, they put huge picture windows in all the bedrooms so we could wake up and see the beautiful views. Well, one night in, I guess it was probably August, beautiful full moon, around 11 o'clock at night. I was just sitting in my room and looking outside, trying to settle myself down so I could go to sleep. Had trouble sleeping. And I look out, and about 70 feet away from my window, but now I have to say I'm 2 stories up. So about at 70 feet away, I see something walk out of the woods and start crossing across the backyard. I had to kind of blink a couple different times, but it was a Bigfoot. I was really excited because I'd only seen it in the Patterson film. Never thought I'd ever see one in Ohio. I thought they were just a out west type thing. And first thing that caught my eye was it was red, or reddish, I should say. And it just glided. Almost like it didn't have feet under it, but it did, because I could see it stepping. It crossed my entire backyard, which was over 100 feet, in about 5 or 6 steps. It was just amazing. And another thing that caught me was the look on his face. I say it was a he. I think it was. He had this like self-satisfying, like the cat just ate the canary look on its face. And it walked across, or glided across the backyard, and disappeared into the woods on the other side.
How was it proportion? Would you say it was more like a person, or would you say it was proportion more like a monkey?
Proportion more like a monkey. It had really long arms. That's something I saw. Its knuckles were below its knees, or right at its knees. Very long arms. And they didn't really sway like a human when they walk. It was kind of like they were just kind of hanging there as he walked. We use our arms like we help propel ourselves. He didn't. He just had his arms down. He would just walk around. That's why I noticed how long his arms were, because they weren't moving very much. They were just at his side.
And I know this is back mid-'70s, so I know it was a while back. But when you were looking at this thing, how big would you say it was? Say compared to like your dad at the time.
Oh, it was much bigger than my dad. Looking at it from where the garage was, it came out from behind. We had a detached garage, and it walked from behind the garage and out. It was at least as tall as the gutter in the garage. But that's about all I can probably tell you. I really don't remember. I was more focused on the look of his face and the proportion of his arms and his color. That's what really stood out.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because at that time, I don't think a lot of people were talking about the auburn color of Sasquatch. Most people were, when they talk about Sasquatch, they automatically had pictured in their face the Patterson-Gimlin film, and all of these creatures are black or that color. So it's interesting that you picked up on that. What did you think? What did you think you were looking at when you saw this thing? Were you like, oh, that's a Sasquatch, or that's what those guys ran into in Bluff Creek?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought. I looked at it. I had to blink a couple times to make sure I was really seeing what I was seeing. But as soon as it registered, I said, "Oh, it's got to be a Bigfoot. It just has to be." And then all of a sudden, I got really excited because, wow, this is so cool! In my backyard, they're living. So, yeah, I was very excited and had no doubt what it was.
It's interesting you talk about the face, having that grin on its face. When you were looking at it, did you get the impression that the face was more human-like, or did you think more monkey-like? How would you really describe the face for the audience that hasn't seen one?
Not human, no. More ape-like. The expression is all I can remember. It was. I've never seen an animal give an expression like this. I know that's kind of hard to describe, but it was like a smirk. Like, I know he didn't know I was there, but it was almost like, "Ha, I'm pulling this over on you. I'm going across, and you can't see me." Type look. It's hard to describe. I mean, it was a long time ago, but the expression just has never left me.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting. The expression on their face. They are they do have a lot of different expressions. And I've had a lot of witnesses on when they have the expression. I don't know that I've ever